Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my review of the new film, Bohemian Rhapsody. This, of course, is the biopic of the group Queen that rose to stardom in the 70s and 80s. And while it was a four-member group, this film really seems to focus on lead singer Freddie Mercury, played extremely well by Rami Malek. Now, when I was watching this film, and this is going to sound crazy, but come with me on this one, I couldn't help but feel some parallels between this film and Straight Outta Compton. I mean, we had members of each group whose ego became a detriment to the group. We had managers in the background who didn't always seem to have everybody's interests at heart. We saw the effect of being in a group and relationships. So I don't necessarily know if it's just specific to the music industry or there was just an interesting parallel here. Now, I can't say that I was a huge Queen fan, but I was a huge fan of this film. It's directed by Bryan Singer, and I should say it was mostly directed by Bryan Singer because apparently he didn't finish off the film and somebody else came and did it. And of course, you'll remember Bryan Singer from such films as X-Men and of course, The Usual Suspects. I think from a reality standpoint, this movie seemed to do a really good job. Even the other cast members who made up, specifically the other three members of the group, when you're looking at the real videos and then the videos of them, it's like, okay, they look like the same people. So the casting was on point. Freddie Mercury's transition onto the big screen by Rami Malek is phenomenal, and he absolutely becomes this person. I mean, if we jump back to Straight Outta Compton, we can say, yeah, O'Shea Jackson did a great job, but he was, playing his father. I mean, I could play my father. I've done the research. But we're watching a guy in Rami Malek just completely transition, and I think this is some of his best work. And he's somewhat of a chameleon actor, where I find that he's able to blend into these roles very strongly, and his performance is by far the main reason to see this film. The film as a whole is enjoyable. It does drag, though. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it feels like it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. The culmination of the film, of course, is leading up to their historic performance at Live Aid, which was about a 20-minute performance, and you get that entire 20-minute performance. I think fans of Queen will absolutely love this film. I think people who aren't necessarily fans of Queen will also enjoy the film as well. Again, a little too long. It does drag on a bit. It could have been tightened up, but I think the film does a really good job exploring the extreme complexity of Freddie Mercury in terms of not only the fact that, here was somebody who was, a very entertaining figure, but also somebody who was struggling with his own individuality and who he was. So as the world was learning about Freddie, I think Freddie was still learning about Freddie, and that comes across very strongly in this film. Overall, I recommend this movie. I give it a B. It's one of the most anticipated films that didn't end up at the Toronto Film Festival, but we're finally getting a chance to see it now. And if you have the time, and believe me, you're going to need at least 2 hours and 50 minutes of time to go and see this film. But the flip side is that when you're making a movie of this magnitude, it's not going to be 90 minutes. I just felt that it could have been tightened a little bit. Anyways, if you have a chance to see Bohemian Rhapsody, let me know what you think. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking this out. My name is Keith, and I'll see you at the movies.